The arena floor was slick with blood that wasn't hers yet. Kira pressed her back against the cold stone wall, watching the Crithian predator circle her with that clicking laugh that made her jaw clench. The alien queen sat motionless on her throne above, 8 eyes reflecting the harsh lights. The crowd of 1,000 species waited in silence. No one had survived this arena in 3 cycles. Kira was 12 years old and had been dragged here screaming from her colony's ship wreckage 2 days ago. The predator was 9 feet of chitin and muscle, mandibles dripping venom. It laughed again. That sound. Like breaking glass mixed with choking. The queen's head tilted 1 degree. Kira's fingers found the sharp metal shard in her pocket, torn from the ship during the crash. Her mother had died holding her. Her father had pushed her into the escape pod and stayed behind. The colony of 200 families was ash now. The predator lunged. Kira rolled left, came up running. Her boots slipped on something wet. She didn't look down. The creature's claws scraped stone where her head had been. The crowd made no sound. That was worse than screaming. She could hear her own breathing, ragged and too fast. The predator moved like liquid death, impossibly quick for something so large. It cut off her path to the far wall. She fainted right. It didn't fall for it. Smart. They were always smart. That's what the other prisoners had whispered before they died. The Crithians bred their arena champions for intelligence. For sport. For the queen's entertainment. Kira's hand tightened on the shard. It cut into her palm. Good. Pain meant alive. The predator spoke in broken standard. Small human. Soft human. Die quick? It sounded almost kind. She'd heard kindness before. From the raiders who burned her home. From the traffickers who sold her here. Kindness was a weapon too. She said nothing. The queen leaned forward slightly. First movement since Kira entered the arena. Around the creature's neck was a translator collar. Around the queen's throat was something else. A pendant. Glowing faint purple. Command device, maybe? Kira filed it away. Her teachers on the colony had taught survival skills. Her father had taught her to notice everything. The predator charged. This time Kira didn't run. She dropped flat as it sailed over her, rolled, came up behind it. The shard flashed. She drove it into the joint where the rear leg met body. Chitin cracked. The predator shrieked. Not laughing now. Black blood sprayed hot across her face. She didn't let go. Twisted the shard deeper. The creature spun, caught her with a backhand that sent her flying. She hit the wall hard enough to see stars. Her ribs screamed. The shard clattered away across the floor. The predator limped toward her, dragging its wounded leg. The laugh started again, but different now. Angry. She tried to stand. Her legs wouldn't work right. The crowd remained silent. The queen's eyes never blinked. Kira tasted copper. Bit tongue or internal bleeding, couldn't tell. The predator loomed over her. Brave human. Stupid human. Die slow now. Its claw rose. She couldn't move fast enough. Then she saw it. The pendant around the queen's neck pulsed once. The predator froze. Completely still. Like someone had cut its strings. Kira stared. The queen made a gesture, subtle as breathing. The predator stepped back. The crowd erupted. Not cheering. Arguing. Confusion in 100 languages. Kira understood then. The queen controlled them. All of them. Every predator in every arena. This wasn't sport. This was execution. Rehearsed murder. The queen stood. Silence fell like a blade. She descended from her throne with movements too smooth to be natural. Each step precise. Calculated. She stopped 10 feet from Kira. Spoke in perfect standard. You damaged my champion. No one has damaged my champion in 7 cycles. Her voice was cold mercury. I want to know how a human child accomplished this. Kira found her voice. It shook but held. You killed my family. I kill many families. The queen's mandibles moved in what might have been a smile. Be specific. The colony ship Aurora. 2 days ago. Ah. Yes. That one burned beautifully. Something snapped inside Kira's chest. Not fear. Not pain. Something older. She lunged for the fallen shard. Her ribs shrieked protest. Her hand closed around it. The predator moved to intercept, but the queen's pendant flashed. It stopped again. Kira stood, swaying, shard raised. Blood ran down her arm. The queen watched her with those 8 unblinking eyes. Fascinating. You still resist. Most species beg at this point. I'm not most species. The words came from somewhere deeper than thought. From her father's last look through the pod window. From her mother's final heartbeat against her ear. From 200 families turned to ash. The queen's head tilted. No. Perhaps you are not. She raised one claw and the arena floor began to shift. Platforms rose from hidden slots in the stone. The predator backed away as the ground transformed. Obstacles, weapons, higher ground. The arena became something else. A real battlefield. The queen returned to her throne but didn't sit. I have watched 10,000 deaths in this arena. Every one was predetermined. Controlled. Boring. She gestured at the transformed space. You have given me something I have not felt in decades. Uncertainty. So I offer you a choice. Fight my champion again. Truly fight. No commands. No control. If you win, you leave here alive. Kira's grip tightened on the shard. And if I lose? You die. But you were dying anyway. At least now you have a chance. The queen's mandibles clicked. Unless you prefer mercy. I can make it quick. The crowd pressed against the barriers. This had never happened before. Kira could see it in their movements. The queen was breaking her own rules. The predator's laugh started up again, uncertain now. It didn't understand either. The translator collar around its neck flickered as the control released. Full autonomy. Full rage. Kira looked at the platforms. At the weapons scattered across them. Ancient and modern. Blades and energy weapons. The queen was giving her options. Or testing her. Maybe both. She thought of her father's voice during survival training. Fear is information. Pain is information. Use both. Stay alive. The predator charged without warning. Kira ran for the nearest platform. Her ribs protested every step. She leaped, caught the edge, pulled herself up. The creature slammed into the platform base. The whole structure shook. She grabbed a weapon from the rack. Some kind of staff with a blade on each end. Not ideal, but better than a shard. The predator jumped impossibly high. Landed on the platform. It was larger, stronger, faster. But it was bleeding from the leg wound. Still limping slightly. That was something. They circled each other on the narrow platform. Below, another platform slowly rotated, grinding stone on stone. The queen watched. The crowd held their breath. Kira struck first. A testing blow. The predator parried with one claw. The impact jarred her arms. Too strong. She couldn't match it in direct combat. Had to be smarter. She feinted high, went low. The blade bit into the same wounded leg. The predator roared. Grabbed the staff. Yanked it, and Kira tore its mandibles. She let go. Dropped flat. Rolled off the platform's edge. Caught herself one-handed on a lower outcropping. The predator looked down at her. Laughed that terrible laugh. Threw the staff away. It clattered into the arena floor far below. Kira pulled herself up onto the lower platform. Found another weapon. A whip with a weighted end. She'd never used a whip before. The predator jumped down. The platform cracked under its weight. They were 20 feet above the arena floor now. No going back. The creature rushed her. She lashed out with the whip. Caught it across the eyes. It screamed. Clawed at its face. She struck again. And again. Driving it back toward the platform's edge. Its wounded leg gave out. It stumbled. Kira saw her chance. Dropped the whip. Charged low, shouldering to its chest with all her weight. The predator teetered, arms windmilling. She pushed harder. Felt her ribs crack further. Didn't stop. The predator fell. Crashed through 2 lower platforms on the way down. Hit the arena floor with a wet crunch. Didn't move. Kira stood at the platform's edge. Bleeding. Barely standing. The silence stretched for 3 heartbeats. Then, the crowd exploded. Not cheering. Shouting. Demands. Questions. Rage. The queen raised one claw. Instant silence. She looked at Kira for a long moment. Then, spoke into the sudden quiet. A Deathworlder child has done what trained warriors could not. She has defeated my champion. Through pain. Through loss. Through refusing to stop when stopping would be easier. This is what makes humans dangerous. She gestured at Kira. You have earned your freedom. You may leave. Kira didn't move. I want to know why. Why what? Why my family? Why my home? Why any of this? The queen's mandibles moved in that alien smile. Because I could. Because your species expanded into territory I claimed. Because I do not negotiate with Deathworlders. I exterminate them. Something in Kira's chest went very still. Very cold. Then killing me would have been smarter. Perhaps. But I am curious to see what you become. What you do with your survival. Will you run? Hide? Seek revenge? The queen's eyes glittered. I find I want to know. Kira looked at the dead predator below. At the blood on her hands. At the queen who had murdered everyone she loved. I'll show you what humans become. The queen laughed. It sounded nothing like the predator's laugh. This one was ice and ages. I look forward to it. Guards will escort you to a ship. You have 1 cycle to leave my territory. If I see you again, you die. No arena. No chances. Understood? Understood. 2 guards appeared. Not the same species as the queen. They looked almost relieved to be escorting rather than executing. Kira climbed down from the platforms. Each step was agony. Her ribs were definitely broken. Probably internal bleeding. Didn't matter. She was walking out. The guards led her through passages carved from dark stone. The arena sounds faded behind them. One guard spoke in halting standard. No one leaves Queen's Arena alive! You are first in my lifetime. Kira said nothing. They reached a docking bay. A small ship waited. Old but functional. The guard continued. Queen is cruel. But Queen keeps word. Ship is yours. Medical supplies inside. Autopilot will take you to neutral space. Why are you telling me this? The guard's eyes were yellow and sad. My world was Deathworld too. Before Queen came. I understand loss. They left her at the ship's entrance. Kira climbed inside. Found the medical supplies. Injected something for the pain. It helped a little. The autopilot engaged. The ship lifted. Through the viewport she watched the Queen's station shrink. A massive construct of metal and darkness. Dozens of ships docked at various ports. Raiders. Slavers. All of them working for the Queen. Kira's hands shook as she set course for the nearest human outpost. 3 weeks of travel. Time to heal. Time to think. Time to plan. Her family was dead. Her home was ash. But she was alive. The Queen had made a mistake. Not in letting her go. In showing her the station's location. Its layout. Its weaknesses. In 3 years Kira would return. Not as a child. Not as prey. As something the Queen should have feared from the start. The ship jumped to faster than light. Stars stretched to lines. The void swallowed her. She slept for the first time in days. Dreamed of fire and blood and a queen learning too late what Deathworlders truly were. In the arena, workers cleaned blood from stone. The dead predator was dragged away. The queen sat alone on her throne, mandibles moving slowly. Thinking. A lieutenant approached. Your Majesty. Letting the human live was unprecedented. The Council is concerned. The Council is always concerned. The Queen's eyes remained fixed on the empty arena floor. I have crushed 100 species. Exterminated Deathworlders across 3 sectors. This child survived through pain and rage alone. Do you know what that means? That humans are dangerous? That we have been culling them wrong. Fear teaches them to hide. Pain teaches them to hide better. But give them hope? Let them survive? The Queen's mandibles clicked. Hope makes them deadly. I have given that child purpose. She will return. Stronger. Prepared. And when she does, I will learn everything about how humans make war. Then I will use that knowledge to destroy them all. The lieutenant said nothing. The Queen continued. Besides, I am old. I have conquered everything. Every battle is predictable. Every enemy breaks the same way. That child's eyes when she threatened me? That was the first interesting thing I've seen in decades. Let her come. Let her try. I will enjoy teaching her why I rule this sector. In the void between stars, Kira's ship raced towards safety. She lay in the medical pod, half-conscious, bones knitting slowly. She didn't know the Queen had planned this. Didn't know she was part of some larger game. She only knew that she was alive. That she had survived. That somewhere in the black, the Queen was waiting. Let her wait. Kira had time. 3 years to learn everything. To train. To prepare. To gather allies. The Queen wanted to know what she would become? She would show her. Humans were Deathworlders for a reason. They evolved on a planet that tried to kill them every day. They learned to fight back against nature itself. And when they learned to travel the stars, they brought that survival instinct with them. The Queen had killed her family. Had laughed about it. Had thrown her into an arena to die. But the arena had rules. Nature didn't. War didn't. Revenge didn't. Kira would teach the Queen the difference. The medical pod beeped. Her ribs were healing. The internal bleeding stopped. She would have scars. Good. Scars were lessons carved into skin. She closed her eyes. Let sleep take her. Dreamed of the moment when she would return. When the Queen's eyes would widen in recognition. When that cold laugh would finally stop. 3 years was nothing. The Queen had ruled for decades. But even queens could fall. Especially when they underestimated a child who had nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The human outpost appeared like a beacon in the dark. Small. Defended. Home. Kira's ship transmitted identification codes that the guards at the colony had uploaded to her escape pod. The response came immediately. Aurora survivor, you are cleared for emergency docking. Medical team standing by. She guided the ship in on manual controls. Her hands steady now. The pain medication was wearing off, but she didn't take more. She wanted to feel everything. To remember. The ship touched down in Bay 7. The doors opened before she could stand. Medical personnel rushed in. A doctor with kind eyes and gray hair. 2 nurses. They saw her condition and moved fast. Broken ribs. Lacerations. Possible concussion. Get her to emergency. I can walk, Kira said. I'm sure you can. Humor me anyway. The doctor's voice was firm but gentle. They loaded her onto a stretcher. The outpost corridors were clean and bright. So different from the Queen's station. They reached medical. Ran scans. Injected more medication. The doctor studied the results with a frown. Your injuries are 3 days old. Some have already started healing. Whatever treatment you received was effective. I had medical supplies. Crithian medical supplies. Military grade. How did a child get access to those? Kira met her eyes. The Queen gave them to me. After I killed her champion in the arena. The doctor's expression didn't change, but something flickered behind her eyes. Fear. Or respect. I see. I need to report this to command. You're the first Aurora survivor we found. I'm the only one. The Queen told me herself. She destroyed the entire ship. The doctor's jaw tightened. I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Your colony was good people. They were. Kira's voice was flat. Empty. The doctor finished her examination. You'll need 2 weeks of recovery. Your bones will heal, but you need rest. I'm prescribing sleep medication and nutrition supplements. You're malnourished. I'll take the supplements. Not the sleep medication. You need rest. I need to stay alert. The doctor studied her for a long moment. Then nodded. I understand. But if you change your mind, tell the nurses. She left. A guard appeared at the door. Young. Male. Nervous. Ma'am, the commander wants to speak with you. When you're able. I'm able now. You sure? You look pretty banged up. Kira sat up. Her ribs protested but held. I'm sure. The guard led her through more corridors. Officers and civilians stopped to stare. Word traveled fast on outposts this small. They reached a door marked command. The guard knocked. Enter. The commander was a woman in her 50s. Military posture. Sharp eyes. 3 other officers stood behind her. Maps and star charts covered the walls. Kira Reeves. Aurora Colony Manifest listed you as 12 years old. Daughter of Marcus and Sarah Reeves. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. I'm Commander Chin. These are my senior staff. We need to understand what happened. Can you tell us? Kira told them everything. The attack. The crash. The arena. The Queen. The fight. The escape. She left nothing out. Her voice never wavered. When she finished, the officers exchanged looks. Commander Chen spoke carefully. You killed a Crithian arena champion. At 12 years old. With improvised weapons. Yes, ma'am. The Queen let you go because she was impressed. Because she's curious. She wants to see what I'll do. It's a game to her. And what will you do? Kira met the commander's eyes. I'm going to kill her. In 3 years. When I'm ready. Silence filled the room. One of the officers shifted uncomfortably. Commander Chen's expression didn't change. That's quite a goal. It's not a goal. It's a promise. To my parents. To everyone on the Aurora. To myself. The commander studied her for a long moment. You understand the Crithian Empire controls 16 systems. The Queen has armies. Fleets. Technology we don't fully understand. She's survived assassination attempts from species far more advanced than humans. I don't care. You should. Commander Chen's voice hardened. I admire your courage. But courage without strategy is suicide. If you go after the Queen unprepared, you'll die. Accomplish nothing. And she'll use your failure as propaganda against humanity. Then help me prepare. The words hung in the air. The officers looked at each other. One spoke up. We can't support a revenge mission against a foreign power. Even one as hostile as the Crithians. It would violate treaties. The Queen violated treaties when she destroyed civilian colony ship. Kira's hands curled into fists. She's violating them every day. And no one stops her because everyone's afraid. Commander Chen raised a hand. Silence. You're not wrong. The Queen operates in a legal gray zone. She claims the Aurora entered her territory. Whether that's true or not, we can't prove otherwise. The ship's black box was destroyed. So she just gets away with it. For now. But Kira, listen to me carefully. I've been fighting wars since before you were born. Revenge is a poor motivator. It burns hot and fast and leaves you empty. If you really want to stop the Queen, you need something stronger than hate. Like what? Purpose. Justice. A cause worth surviving for, not just dying for. The commander moved to the star chart. The Queen controls these systems. But her empire is held together by fear. If someone could unite the species she's conquered, give them hope, organize resistance. That's how empires fall. Not through one assassination. Through 1,000 small rebellions. Kira looked at the map. Saw the Queen's territory. Saw the human outposts scattered around it. Saw the possibility. You're saying I should start a war. I'm saying if you're determined to fight, do it smart. Build alliances. Learn strategy. Become someone the Queen should actually fear. Not a child with a knife. A leader with an army. The words settled into Kira's chest. How long would that take? Years. Maybe decades. I have 3 years. Commander Chen smiled. It was sad and knowing. Then you'll need to move fast. And you'll need help. You'll help me? I'll give you access to our training facilities. Our intelligence on the Krithian Empire. Our tactical databases. What you do with that information is your choice. But understand this. If you start down this path, you can't stop. The Queen will hear about it. She'll send assassins. She'll target any allies you make. Your life will be war until one of you dies. Kira thought of her mother's last heartbeat. Her father's final look. The 200 families turned to ash. My life is already war. I just didn't know it until the Queen showed me. Commander Chen nodded slowly. Then, welcome to the fight. It's bigger and longer than you think. But we've been waiting for someone who survived the Queen's games. Someone who can prove she's not invincible. She extended her hand. Kira shook it. The grip was firm. A soldier's grip. Get healed. Then, report to training. We'll start with basics. Combat. Strategy. Leadership. Intelligence gathering. If you're serious about this, you'll earn every skill. I'm serious. I know. That's what worries me. The days blurred together. Physical therapy. Combat training. Tactical simulations. Kira pushed herself harder than her instructors demanded. Slept 4 hours a night. Studied another 4. Trained for 8. Every moment was preparation. Her body healed. The broken ribs knit strong. The scars faded but remained visible. She didn't try to hide them. They were proof. Evidence. A reminder. The other trainees were adults. Military personnel. They didn't know what to make of her at first. A child in combat training. But after she disarmed a lieutenant twice her size in sparring, attitudes changed. Respect arrived slowly. Hard-earned. Genuine. 3 months in, Commander Chen called her to a briefing. We've received intelligence from our spies in Krithian space. The Queen is moving ships. Building something in her home system. We don't know what. Kira studied the reports. Fleet movements. Resource allocations. Construction projects. She's preparing for something big. Either offense or defense. Which do you think? Both. She's smart. Whatever she's building, it'll serve multiple purposes. Commander Chen nodded. Our analysts agree. But here's what interests me. She's pulling resources from border systems. Leaving them more vulnerable. Some of the species she conquered are getting ideas. Rebellion? Whispers. Nothing concrete. But if someone could coordinate those whispers into action. Make contact with resistance leaders. Offer support. The commander's eyes met Kira's. Someone the Queen would underestimate because of her age. Someone who's already survived her games. Kira understood. You want me to go back? Not to her station. To the border systems. Make contact. Build networks. Learn more about her empire from the inside. It's dangerous. You'd be operating without backup in hostile space. When do I leave? In 2 months. After advanced training. You'll need to pass language certifications. Cultural training. Deep cover operations. And you'll need a ship. The one I came in will work. That thing? It's barely functional. No weapons. No stealth systems. We can do better. Commander Chen pulled up a hologram. A small ship. Sleek. Deadly. This is a Raven-class scout. Fast. Armed. Hard to detect. We're decommissioning 3 of them next month. 1 could disappear in the paperwork. Officially lost in a training accident. You'd do that? For someone fighting the Queen? Yes. But Kira, understand what you're accepting. This mission could take years. You'll be alone. Deep cover. No communication with us unless absolutely necessary. If you're captured, we can't rescue you. If you're killed, we can't acknowledge you. You'll be a ghost. Kira thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. I accept. You didn't even hesitate. Why would I? This is what I've been preparing for. A chance to hurt her. To weaken her empire. To prove she's not untouchable. Commander Chen's expression was complicated. You're 15 years old. You should be worrying about school. Friends. Normal things. Normal ended when my family died. This is all I have now. Is it? Or is it all you're allowing yourself to have? The question hit harder than expected. Kira didn't answer. The commander sighed. Complete your training. If you still feel the same way, the mission is yours. But think about what you're choosing. Revenge or survival. Purpose or obsession. There's a difference. The training intensified. Languages. Krithian cultural protocols. Resistance tactics. Ship operations. Weapons systems. Kira absorbed everything. Her instructors were impressed and worried in equal measure. One night, her combat instructor found her in the gym at midnight. You should be sleeping. I'm behind on endurance training. You're ahead of everyone in your cohort. You beat my record on the obstacle course. Records are meant to be broken. The instructor sat on the bench. I'm going to tell you something. When I was your age, my family was killed in a pirate raid. I joined the military to hunt them down. Spent 10 years searching. Finally, found them. Killed every last one. Good. Was it? Because after they were dead, I felt nothing. Not satisfaction. Not closure. Just empty. The revenge I'd built my whole life around was over. And I didn't know who I was without it. Kira stopped her exercise. What's your point? My point is make sure you have something to fight for beyond vengeance. Something to live for. Because if you don't, winning and losing feel the same. And that's no way to exist. The instructor left. Kira stood alone in the gym. Thought about the words. Then, returned to training. 2 months later, she stood in the docking bay. The Raven-class ship waited. Black and silver. Beautiful and deadly. Commander Chen handed her a datapad. Contacts in 3 systems. Resistance cells. Smugglers willing to transport refugees. Scientists working on countermeasures to Krithian tech. Start with these. Build from there. I will. Kira. One more thing. The Queen is old. Powerful. Patient. She's probably already heard about you. About your training here. She's waiting to see what you'll do. Don't give her what she expects. What should I give her? Surprise. Evolution. Proof that humans learn. That we adapt. That we're not just angry children with weapons. We're strategic. Persistent. Unbreakable. Commander Chen saluted. Kira returned it. Then climbed into her ship. The cockpit was tight but efficient. Every system optimal. She ran through pre-flight checks. Everything perfect. The bay doors opened to stars. Kira engaged engines. The ship lifted. Rotated. Shot forward into the black. Behind her, the outpost shrank to a point of light. Ahead, the border systems waited. And beyond them, hidden in the heart of her empire, the Queen sat on her throne. Watching. Waiting. Wondering what the child would become. Kira set course for the first contact. A resistance cell on a mining world. They'd been fighting the Queen's occupying forces for years. Losing slowly. She would change that. The journey took 2 weeks. Plenty of time to think. To plan. To remember. She kept her parents' images on a small data drive. Looked at them once a day. Not to fuel rage. To remember what she was fighting for. Not just revenge. Justice. Freedom. A universe where other families wouldn't burn. The mining world appeared on her scopes. She transmitted the coded message Commander Chen had provided. Waited. A response came. Coordinates. A landing site in the deep desert, far from occupation forces. Kira descended through atmosphere. The world was harsh. Red sand. Thin air. She could see why people fought to keep it. It was home. She landed at the coordinates. Found nothing but rocks and wind. Then, the ground opened. A hidden hangar. Clever. She descended into it. Armed figures emerged from the shadows. 5 species she recognized. 3 she didn't. All carrying weapons. All looking suspicious. 1 stepped forward. Humanid. 4 arms. Scarred face. You're the human? I'm Kira Reeves. We were told to expect someone older. You were told to expect someone who survived the Queen's arena. That's me. The figure's eyes narrowed. Prove it. Kira pulled up her shirt. Showed the scars. The arena wounds. The pattern of injuries no one could fake. I killed her champion. She let me go because she wanted to see what I do. So I'm here. Helping you fight her. Silence. Then, the figure lowered their weapon. I am Vex. These are my fighters. We've been resisting for 8 years. Lost more people than I can count. What makes you think you can help? I have training. Resources. Contacts. And I understand how she thinks. She controls through fear and spectacle. We counter with strategy and coordination. She expects individual rebellions. We give her a unified front. Big words from a child. I'm not a child anymore. The way Kira said it made Vex pause. Come. We'll talk. They led her deeper into the complex. A base carved from rock. Hundreds of people lived here. Families. Fighters. Refugees. All hiding from the Queen's forces. Vex Command Center was basic. Maps on screens. Communications equipment that looked decades old. We survive. Vex said. That's all. The Queen's soldiers patrol the surface. We strike occasionally. Sabotage. Hit and run. But we're losing ground. She brings more troops every cycle. Eventually she'll find us. Kill us all. Kira studied the maps. You're thinking too small. 1 base. 1 world. The Queen's empire has 16 systems. Hundreds of occupied worlds. If they all coordinated, struck at the same time, she couldn't respond everywhere. We've tried. Communication between systems is monitored. Rebels get caught. Executed publicly as warnings. Then, we use the Queen's own infrastructure. She has to communicate with her forces. We infiltrate those channels. Send messages hidden in official traffic. Build a network she can't see. Vex laughed. It wasn't mocking. Just tired. You really think that's possible? I know it is. Because she's arrogant. She believes she's untouchable. That makes her careless. And carelessness creates openings. You sound like you know her. I do. She's predictable once you understand what drives her. Power. Control. Entertainment. She's bored. That's why she let me live. She wanted to see what would happen. We use that. Give her a show. But not the one she expects. Vex studied Kira for a long moment. The others said you were different. A survivor who fought back. I see it now. You're not here for revenge. You're here for war. I'm here for both. And I'm here to win. Over the next weeks, Kira worked with the resistance. Analyzed their tactics. improved their communication security, taught them techniques from human military doctrine. She was younger than everyone there. But age stopped mattering after the first successful raid. She'd designed it. A hit on a supply depot. In and out in 10 minutes. No casualties. Maximum resource capture. The fighters looked at her differently after that. The weeks became months. Kira moved between systems. Made contact with other cells. Built the network. Slowly. Carefully. The Queen's forces noticed increased activity but couldn't pin down the source. That was good. Meant they were succeeding. But Kira knew it wouldn't last. Eventually the Queen would investigate personally. That was fine. She was counting on it. Year 1 passed. Kira turned 16. No celebration. Just another day of training. Planning. Fighting. She'd grown taller. Stronger. Harder. The softness of childhood was gone. Replaced with something cold and focused. Year 2 brought the first major victory. 3 systems coordinated a simultaneous uprising. The Queen's forces were overwhelmed. She pulled back to consolidate. Lost territory for the first time in decades. The resistance celebrated. Kira didn't. She knew the Queen was regrouping. Planning. The response would be devastating. It came 3 months later. The Queen's fleet arrived at the mining world. Not soldiers. Bombardment. Vex got everyone evacuated. Barely. They watched from orbit as the surface burned. Everything they built. Gone. Kira's hands shook with rage. Vex put a hand on her shoulder. We knew this could happen. We planned for it. The people are safe. That's what matters. She destroyed everything. She destroyed rock. We're still here. Still fighting. That's what scares her. Kira looked at the burning world. At the Queen's ships orbiting like predators. She's sending a message. Then we send one back. They did. A coordinated strike on 5 of the Queen's supply lines. Simultaneous. Perfect execution. Billions in lost resources. The Queen's forces scrambled. Tried to respond. But the resistance was already gone. Ghosts in the void. News of the victory spread. More systems joined the resistance. More species. The network grew. But Kira knew the timer was running out. 3 years. That's what she'd promised herself. 3 years to get ready. Then direct action. The final confrontation was approaching. She could feel it. Like storm pressure. Inevitable. Year 3 began. Kira was 17. Veteran of 100 operations. Leader of a resistance spanning 8 systems. But still, somehow, the child who'd survived the arena. Commander Chen's words echoed in her memory. Purpose versus revenge. Survival versus obsession. She'd built something bigger than herself. Freed thousands. Given hope to millions. Was that enough? Or did it only count if she killed the Queen herself? She sat in her ship. Alone in the black between stars. Looked at her parents' images. I don't know if this is what you'd want, she whispered to the screen. If you'd be proud or horrified. But it's all I know how to do. Keep fighting. Keep surviving. Keep making her pay. The images didn't answer. They never did. But looking at them, Kira made a decision. The Queen had given her 3 years. Time was up. She opened a secure channel. Contacted Vex and the other resistance leaders. I'm going to the Queen's station. I'm going to end this. The responses came fast. Objections. Concerns. Warnings. She overrode them all. This was always the plan. Build the resistance strong enough to survive without me. Then, remove the head. You're ready. The network is established. Keep fighting. Keep coordinating. When the Queen falls, her empire falls. You'll be there to catch the pieces. Vex's voice was heavy. This is suicide. Maybe. But I'm not the child she remembers. I'm what she created. And now she gets to see what that means. Kira closed the channel. Set course for the Queen's home system. The heart of her empire. The station where it all began. The journey took 2 weeks. She used the time to prepare. Checked every weapon. Every system. Ran through scenarios. The Queen would be ready. Would have defenses. This wouldn't be like the arena. But Kira had advantages now. Training. Experience. Technology. And something else. Something the Queen couldn't account for. She wasn't fighting alone anymore. The resistance would strike simultaneously across all 16 systems. Maximum chaos. Maximum distraction. While the Queen's attention was divided, Kira would slip through her defenses. Reach the throne room. Finish what started 3 years ago. The station appeared on her scopes. Massive. Heavily defended. Impossible. Perfect. She transmitted a message. Single word. Her name. The response was immediate. An invitation. Coordinates. A landing bay. The Queen was welcoming her. Expecting her. Kira smiled. So predictable. She guided her ship toward the station. Through the defensive perimeter. Into the bay. Landed. The bay was empty except for guards. Hundreds of them. Different species. All loyal to the Queen. All armed. Kira stepped out of her ship. Wearing combat gear. Armed with weapons human and alien. She looked at the guards. They looked at her. No one moved. Then, a door opened. The Queen entered. Still impossibly graceful. Still cold as vacuum. Those 8 eyes fixed on Kira. You came. I wondered if you would. You knew I would. I hoped. 3 years is a long time. You've grown. Stronger. Dangerous. You've built quite the rebellion. I learned from the best. You showed me how empires work. I'm showing you how they fall. The Queen's mandibles moved in that terrible smile. Confident. I like that. But you misunderstand. I didn't give you 3 years by accident. I gave them to you on purpose. To see what you'd become. To test your species. And you've performed beautifully. This isn't a test. It's war. War is always a test. And you've passed. But so have I. Because while you were building your resistance, I was building something else. Something that will ensure my empire lasts forever. The Queen gestured. Screens activated around the bay. Showing star systems. Kira's network. Every resistance cell. Every contact. Every safe house. All of them. Mapped. Tracked. Known. Her blood went cold. The Queen continued. Did you think I didn't know? That I couldn't infiltrate your communications? Please. I wanted you to build this network. I wanted you to gather all my enemies in one place. Make them visible. Coordinate them. And now, with one command, I can destroy them all. She raised one claw. Kira saw it. The pendant around the Queen's neck. The control device. But bigger now. More powerful. Connected to systems across the Empire. You're going to kill them all. Unless you give me a reason not to. Kneel. Surrender. Serve me. And I'll let your rebellion live. Turn them into a controlled opposition. Useful. Manageable. They'll think they're free while I pull the strings. Or refuse. Keep your pride. And watch everyone you've recruited die. Kira's hands curled into fists. The guards tensed. The Queen waited. This was the moment. The choice. Everything she built. Everyone who trusted her. Their lives in the balance. Against her pride. Her revenge. Her promise. She thought of Commander Chen's words. Purpose versus revenge. Living for something versus dying for nothing. She thought of Vex. The fighters. The families she'd saved. All the people counting on her. She thought of her parents. What they would want. What they would choose. Then, she thought of the Queen's mistake. Because there was always a mistake. Always an opening. She'd spent 3 years learning to see them. The pendant was a control device. Centralized control. That meant a single point of failure. If it was destroyed, the command couldn't be sent. But it was around the Queen's neck. Surrounded by guards. Impossible to reach. Unless. Kira met the Queen's eyes. Smiled. I have a third option. Oh? I kneel. Surrender. Serve you? And then, when your guard is down, when you think you've won, I kill you anyway. Because that's what Deathworlders do. We survive. We adapt. We wait. And we never stop fighting. Never. You should have killed me 3 years ago. That was your mistake. And it's going to cost you everything. The Queen's eyes widened slightly. Surprise. The first crack. Kira moved. Not toward the Queen. Toward her ship. The guards fired. Energy weapons lit the bay. Kira's shield generators absorbed the first volley. She returned fire. Precise. Controlled. Dropped 3 guards. Reached her ship. Hit the remote activation. The ship's engines roared to life. Weapons armed. It lifted off. Turned. Targeted the Queen. The guards scattered. The Queen raised the pendant. Started to activate it. Kira pressed a button on her wrist device. Across 16 systems, the resistance struck. Every cell. Every contact. Simultaneous. Overwhelming. The station shook as the network activated. Diversions. Attacks. Chaos. The Queen's attention split. Her concentration broke. Just for a second. Kira's ship fired. Not at the Queen. At the pendant. A precision shot. Impossible. Except Kira had been training for 3 years for exactly this moment. The pendant shattered. The Queen shrieked. Kira leaped from her ship. Hit the ground running. The guards converged. She fought through them. Human combat techniques mixed with alien martial arts. Everything she'd learned. Everything she'd earned. She reached the Queen. They faced each other. Just like 3 years ago. Except now Kira was armed. Trained. Ready. The Queen's mandibles clicked. Impressive. But you're still going to die here. Maybe. But your empire dies with you. The pendant is destroyed. Your control is gone. And my people are already taking your systems. You lose either way. You think killing me stops anything? I have successors. Generals. The empire continues. The empire was built on fear of you. Without you, it fragments. Civil war. Rebellion. Collapse. I've studied your system. It's held together by your personality. Your legend. Once you're dead, it falls apart. And the resistance is there to catch it. To offer something better. Freedom. Choice. Justice. The Queen laughed. That cold, terrible laugh. You really believe that? You beautiful, naive child. My empire will endure because I taught it to. The cruelty. The efficiency. The power. That doesn't die with me. It lives in everyone I touched. Everyone I conquered. You think freedom is contagious? So is tyranny. Then I'll keep fighting it. As long as it takes. Forever if I have to. Because that's what humans do. We don't give up. We don't surrender. We survive. And we make sure the next generation can survive too. You killed my family. But you didn't kill what they taught me. You didn't kill hope. Kira raised her weapon. The Queen didn't move. Just watched with those 8 alien eyes. Do it then. Kill me. Become me. Another killer. Another tyrant. Continue the cycle. I'm not like you. You're exactly like me. You just don't know it yet. Give it time. You'll see. Kira pulled the trigger. The shot was perfect. Clean. The Queen fell. The greatest predator in 16 systems. brought down by the prey she'd underestimated. The guards stopped, stared at their fallen queen, then looked at each other. Confusion. Lost. Kira activated the station-wide communications. Spoke to everyone. Every species. Every prisoner. Every soldier. The queen is dead. Her empire is over. You have a choice now. Keep fighting for a dead tyrant. Or lay down your weapons. Go home. The resistance offers amnesty to anyone who surrenders. We're not here for revenge. We're here to build something better. Choose. One by one, weapons lowered. The guards. The soldiers. The occupying forces across 16 systems. Without the Queen's control. Without her fear. They were just people. Tired people. Kira looked down at the Queen's body. Felt nothing. Not satisfaction. Not closure. Just emptiness. The combat instructor had been right. Victory felt hollow. But she'd known it would. This was never about feeling good. It was about doing what needed to be done. Making the universe a little safer. Giving others the chance her family never had. Vex's voice crackled over her calm. Kira. We did it. Systems are surrendering. The Empire is collapsing. It's over. It's not over. It's just beginning. Now comes the hard part. Building peace. Making sure this never happens again. You'll lead us? No. I'll help. But this needs to be led by the people who suffered. Who survived. Who know what they're fighting for. I'm just a soldier. Let someone else be the diplomat. What will you do? Kira looked at the stars through the bay windows. I'll keep searching. For other survivors. Other colonies the Queen destroyed. I'll find them. Bring them home. And I'll watch. Make sure no one else rises to take her place. That's a lonely road. I know. But it's mine. I chose it 3 years ago. In the arena. When I decided to survive. This is what survival looks like for me. She walked back to her ship. Past the guards. Past the Queen's body. Into her cockpit. Set course for the void. Behind her, the station celebrated. Freedom. Victory. A new beginning. Kira felt none of it. But that was okay. She didn't need to feel it. She just needed to protect it. The ship jumped to FTL. Stars stretched to lines. Somewhere out there, other children were suffering. Other families were burning. Other tyrants were rising. Kira would find them. One by one. Stop them. Save who could be saved. It wasn't the life she'd imagined. But it was the life she'd earned. She looked at her parents' images one last time. I hope this counts as living. I hope you'd be proud. I hope I made it mean something. That's all I've got. She closed the images. Focus forward. The universe was vast. Dangerous. Filled with predators and prey. But now it had one less predator. And one more person fighting to keep others safe. That had to be enough. It was all she had.